afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. And happy Greek Independence Day 2024. There we go. We are excited to be here, downtown Aurora. Although the weather outside is inclement, we have great energy, great spirit, great firm resolve in here today. A round of applause for our Greek community of Aurora and throughout the world. On Greek Independence Day, we celebrate not just a momentous event in history, but the enduring spirit that defined Greek people from Greece to America. From Athens to Aurora, we have certainly the leadership here in this city that helped to define what the Greek culture is all about. From governmental leaders like Alderman Mesiacos and Alexandrou, to educators like Kelly Grigoropoulos, to business leaders like Nico Andriopoulos and George Boznos, to the elders like James and Dina Deligianis, to the young people like John Poulakidis, who they call the folk hero of the Yale Bulldogs, and the young archery superstar Diamanto Mesiacos. From young to old, we certainly have the Greek spirit alive and well here in Aurora. Another round of applause for all of our amazing Greek leaders. If all of our guests can please stand for the American national anthem. Thank you so much. You may be seated. To open us with an invocation and a prayer from St. Athanasios Greek Orthodox Church, please give a big round of applause to Father Panagiotis Boznos.
O Lord our God, who hold together the universe, and in your power and by your divine and almighty will govern the world. You created from one blood all nations of mankind that inhabit the face of the earth, and have assigned to each its boundaries, and you have conferred special blessings upon the Greek nation, granting it the knowledge of your truth, leading it to the light of true faith, and bringing forth from it the fathers and teachers of the church. You kept it free for centuries by your divine grace, and you preserved and saved it when enslaved, and you restored it once again to a life of freedom. Do you yourself, all holy Master, accept our prayers of thanksgiving for the liberation and rebirth of the Greek nation, and hear us, who in faith fervently pray to you. Give rest to the souls of our fathers and brethren, who nobly fought for faith and country and died with glory, or were slain, hanged, or perished in captivity, together with all the souls who have been well pleased to you from the beginning. Make us all worthy of freedom, preserve us in peace and concord, and guide us to every good work that is pleasing to you. Remember, O Lord, the American and Greek nations, and your beloved city of Aurora. Remember all those in public service whom you have allowed to govern on the earth. Grant our public servants profound and lasting peace. Speak to their hearts good things concerning your church and all your people, that through the faithful conduct of their duties we may live peaceful and serene lives in all piety and holiness. Amen. Honorable Mayor Richard Irvin, Alderman, city officials, and fellow citizens of Aurora, this day of Greek independence throughout Greece and the Hellenic diaspora and the people of God celebrate the freedom and remember the cost thereof. Inspired by the feast, the Orthodox Feast of Annunciation, celebrated on March 25th, when the angel Gabriel came to the Virgin Mary to proclaim to her that she would bear a son and that her son would bring freedom and salvation to mankind, the Greeks of 1821 chose this day also to proclaim their own civic freedom and salvation from over 400 years of oppression. The fact that the struggle for freedom is forever linked to the exercise of the Virgin Mary's own freedom, as she accepted this message from Gabriel, is a cause for celebration every day, and not just on March 25th. It is the acknowledgement that mankind was created for freedom, and that oppression is an evil to be overturned. We can hold in our minds and in our hearts the champions of 1821 in every moment, for their example is ever new and ever young. Their sacrifices remind us of the costly price of liberty, so that we might never take for granted the freedoms won and what it takes to preserve them. Here in Aurora, we are blessed to remember our beloved Philhellenes, the 19th century Americans who supported Greek independence with the American Philhellene Memorial Monument in Wilder Park, showing that America was and still is a strong ally and a friend of the Greek people. The fact that this monument resides here in Aurora is no happenstance. Aurora has been home to a thriving and strong Greek community for decades, taking with them the fire and the inspiration of 1821 and the revolutionaries. The Greeks came to Aurora continuing to strive for freedom and self-determination and prosperity. And that is what they found exactly here in our beloved city. As we celebrate the independence of a nation far across the sea, today we also celebrate that self-same spirit of the Greek people and the city of Aurora. Zito I Elada, Zito I Aurora. Zito.
Thank you to Father Boznos for your words and for your leadership in Aurora. This year, he led the blessing of the river for the first time, again, making history. Another round of applause for Father Boznos, straight afternoon to Greek Orthodox Church. Thank you, Reverend, for all that you do. We're joined by so many special guests here today, including all of you. We are joined by the only Greek American on the Aurora City Council. Ward 3 Alderman Ted Mesiacos is here. He'll be coming down shortly to speak. We're joined by our guests and our friends from the Colombian Consul General's Office of Chicago. Thank you so much, ladies. We will be holding our first ever Colombian flag raising right here in downtown Aurora on July 19th. So thank you, ladies, for coming out today. We appreciate you. We're also joined by our own Chief Management Officer. We call him the head Greek in charge. Alexandrou is here. Father mentioned the beautiful monument over at Wilder Park, led by the American Philhellene Society. The president of the American Philhellene Society, Mr. Pete Nicolopoulos, is here as well. And his lovely wife, Georgia, thank you so much. And here to officially proclaim today the Greek Independence Day celebration here in the city of Aurora, a friend of the Aurora Greek community, supported heavily by the Aurora Greek community, and one who focuses on inclusion by making certain that everyone has a voice at the table. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mayor Richard C. Irvin.
Yazas. Happy Greek Independence Day. Zito. You know, it is my absolute honor to read this proclamation for Greek Independence Day, March 25th, 2024. Whereas on Greek Independence Day, we recognize the important contribution Greek Americans have made to our national character, celebrate the deep friendship between our two countries, and honor the anniversary of the Greek call for independence. And whereas the United States and Greece shared a close relationship based on our common belief in the power of freedom, the ancient Athenians gave birth to the principles of democracy. Now, this isn't in the proclamation, but my chief of staff, Alexandrou, tells me that every single day, that the Greeks had created democracy here in the United States of America. And America's founding fathers were inspired by Greek ideals that honored and respected human dignity and rights. And whereas when the people of Greece claimed their independence in 1821, they had a strong support of the United States, including the support of Americans, the Hellenes, who fought in the Greek Revolution. And whereas we remember the Greek Americans whose strong spirit, resolve, and courage helped shape America, we also remember and recognize Aurora's Greek community that built its foundation in the mid-20th century, and has left an indelible mark in Aurora's faith, business, education, civic, culture, and political sectors. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Richard, am proud to acknowledge the raising of the Greek flag today in Aurora, and do hereby proclaim March 25th, 2024 as Greek Independence Day here in the city of Aurora. It is a national day of celebration of Greek and American democracy. Thank you.
Here to provide remarks, please join me in welcoming again Ward 3 Alderman Ted Mesiacos.
Thank you, Clayton. Father Panagiotis, Mayor Hellenes and Phil Hellenes, good afternoon. It is truly a privilege to be here once again with you for this flag-raising ceremony and what it represents. I would like to start by sharing a personal story. Like all typical Greek Americans growing up in a Greek household, we would attend church and Greek school programs that would ingrain in our mind what our ancestors endured through 400 years of slavery, and that a generation in the early 1800s fought valiantly to help ensure freedom for all Greeks moving forward. Growing up, my father would occasionally speak of the importance of respecting and honoring when we could those that came before us, including those that paved the way for everyone that would come after. He emphasized planting a seed when you could, regardless if you had the opportunity to witness the fruits of your effort. As a young boy, I would recall my dad every so often mentioning the name Androuzakis. A name he would say with admiration and respect. He would also share that Athanasios was a person that helped pave the way for newly arriving Greeks to Aurora. By my teenage years, I discovered that Athanasios was the family name Andrews, Mr. George Andrews. Fast forward to my time serving as Alderman, I learned that the city of Aurora had proclaimed June 9th, 1974 as George N. Andrews Day, and honored him by naming the George N. Andrews Field at Garfield Park in 1975. A baseball field where last summer my family and I were in attendance to watch his great-grandson play on the same field and win the championship game in the Aurora Boys Baseball Rookie League. On this day, March 25th, we should also remember everyone of Hellenic descent that shed their sweat and tears in Aurora, Illinois. Titans that came before us, that have passed, and that are still here with us today. Determined people with a strong Christian faith, who planted seeds, who set the example, and who paved the way for someone like myself, standing upon the shoulders before you here today, and with a blessed opportunity to help represent our culture and ancestry as an Alderman in Aurora, Illinois. Let us continue to keep their stories alive for future generations to help preserve our freedoms and the American dream of those that came before us. Zito 25 Μαρτίου. Zito η Ελλάδα. Zito το έθνος. God bless America.
Another round of applause for Alderman Ted Mesiacos, Greek son of Aurora, proud Tomcat, amazing Alderman we're remiss if we not recognize the First Lady of Ward 3, Kate Mesiacos, everyone. Thanks so much for your leadership in this community. Speaking of great leaders, certainly he has put his effort and time here in the city of Aurora for nearly a quarter of a century, and now leads our staff working alongside Mayor Irvin to move Aurora forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Chief Management Officer and the Mayor's Chief of Staff, Alexandrou.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is so awesome that we're here, right? It's a beautiful, sunny day on the island of Spetses. Unfortunately, not here. But you're all going to come visit me someday there, and we're going to raise a flag and raise a few other things while we're there. I want to give special thanks to Mayor Irvin, our City Council, especially Alderman Mesiacos, Father Panagiotis, honoring us with his presence and his blessing. For those of you that don't know, St. Athanasios has been the heart and soul of the Greek American community in Aurora for so many years, and the spiritual Greek Orthodox home for so many Greek American residents and their families. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the magnificent efforts, not just today, but all year round, of the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs, led by Clayton Mohammed. Let's give my Greek brother a round of applause. And Mike Nelson and the tremendous special event staff, especially for starting this wonderful tradition of flag raisings and recognizing and honoring the diversity of ethnic cultures and heritages that make up this wonderful tapestry that we know and love as the city of Aurora. So for me growing up, I learned repeatedly these lessons about my Greek heritage from my parents, my grandparents, my significant family in Greece. And that was that freedom or liberty from oppression and a yearning to return to democracy and a democratic republic, those are the main reasons the Greeks fought so valiantly for their independence and why we celebrate Greece's independence today. Those same Greek ideals inspired the American Revolution and led to American independence and our democratic way of life. So I joke around that, the Greeks have invented pretty much everything, but we patented fighting for freedom, fighting for democratic ideals. It inspired American Philhellenes who left the United States on their own accord, left their families, left their jobs to support in many invaluable ways the Greeks' effort for independence, including fighting side by side and many losing their lives for the valiant effort. But their efforts were not in vain. And thanks to the generosity and the vision of the American Philhellene Society, we commemorate and honor their memory and sacrifice right here in the city of Aurora, those brave American Philhellenes, with that beautiful monument at Wilder Park. So we are truly honored to have Peter and Georgia Nicolopoulos here today with us, whose vision and personal sacrifice and commitment made that monument possible. So thank you, Peter and Georgia. In closing, I truly want to give a heartfelt Efcharisto, thank you to everyone who came out today, and most importantly, to everyone who came before me. Efcharisto to the great city of Aurora and to its incredible Greek-American community for supporting me, supporting the mayor and our tremendous staff with their friendship, their kindness, and most importantly, their philoxenia. And speaking of that, we do have to thank Nick Andriopoulos, my old friend from Gyro Pit, for you and your wife for your generous food later. And I know that our staff came out not for the PTO, but the Greek PTO. So we appreciate you, and I appreciate all your support. So God bless. Zito Elas, Zito Aurora. God bless America. Blake stole my tie, by the way.
Another round of applause for Alexandrou, major leader here in the city of Aurora. You know, during each ceremony, each flag raising ceremony, we present awards to community leaders that really connect to the culture and our common goal of excellence. And so the award for the Greek flag raising in the Greek community is called, as the mayor said, the Optimum Participation in Aurora Award, the OPA, the OPA Award. And we look forward to honoring staff members and community members and just Greek, and those of Greek heritage at large. I'm going to ask the mayor to join me on stage. As we celebrate this 203rd anniversary of the Greek Revolution and Greek Independence Day, we present our awards to a number of community leaders. And the first couple certainly has a long-standing family history, a family business that they owned for decades, and then opened a new family business just a couple of years ago. A tremendous mark making on the eatery and dining world, but more importantly, the philanthropic world, because they give back so much to the community.
If I could have both Alderman Mesiacos and Mr. Alexandrou join me on the stage here as we read this folks OPA Award here in the city of Aurora. This Optimum Participation in Aurora, OPA Award, better known as, this award of excellence is presented in this 203rd anniversary of the Greek Revolution and Greek Independence Day. And it is awarded for folks who inspire and influence their presence in Aurora. They inspire and have an influential presence in our entire community. They help by creating an environment for success while continuing to build upon a long-standing tradition of innovation and achievement. This OPA Award goes to Nico and Fanny Andriopoulos. Come on down.
My wife just did a speech. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. We would like to thank all of the City of Aurora for your continued support and love in the last couple of years. Thank you so much.
They were preparing the food back there. Got caught by surprise there. We have wonderful food from Gyro Pit immediately following the ceremony. Our next recipient of this year's OPA Award, born and raised in Aurora, a lifelong member of St. Athanasios Church, a lifelong East Aurora resident, a graduate of St. Paul's Lutheran Academy, Bardwell Elementary School, St. Athanasios Greek School, Waldo Middle School, and a proud graduate of East Aurora High School. I'm so proud that he continues to give back to the East Aurora community. He's the treasurer of the East Aurora Football Old Timers Association, giving scholarships to young people to pursue their collegiate dreams. The past chairman of the Aurora East Educational Foundation, who along with an all-volunteer board distributed over $200,000 in grants to East Aurora teachers. That deserves a round of applause. And he didn't stop there. A couple years ago, he and a group of friends founded the Tomahawk Turkey Trot, and he serves on the executive board. It's a collaboration between East Aurora and West Aurora, the City of Aurora, the Fox Valley Park District, that happens each year around Thanksgiving time. And over $100,000 has been raised for funds to assist students with their future careers. I'll turn it over to the mayor.
This next OPA Award, this Award of Excellence, presented on the 203rd anniversary of Greek Revolution and Greek Independence Day, for your inspiring and influential presence in the Aurora community, helping to create an environment for success while continuing to build upon a long-standing tradition of innovation and achievement. This next Opal Award goes to Bill Mesiacos.
Mr. Alexandrou, Alderman Mesiacos, Father Panagiotis, Mom and Dad. My name is Vasilios Dimitrios Deligiannis, or Bill J. Deligiannis in English. Very proud to be Greek by blood, Auroran by birth, and an Orthodox Christian by baptism. As the mayor just read, or Mr. Mohammed just read, for over 50 years, through the blessings of God, we have lived on the same street in Aurora called Root Street. Root, of course, means Eresis in the Greek language. As was mentioned earlier, we stand upon the shoulders of many giants, some of who are living, many of who have passed along. And as Greeks, not only here in America, but around the world, we celebrate this great day of, as Father mentioned, the freedom of the bondage of slavery, of the message of the Theotokos, to our more recent history of 200 years ago, where the Greek heroes fought with the assistance of the American people in their freedom. Our history is long and deep, and I'm glad to hear that Mr. Alexandrou reminds the mayor about how we effectively invented everything, you know, and we take no shame in saying that, of course. You know, we modestly say that, I'm sure Mr. Alexandrou does. You know, from 3000 BC with the Minoans, which is now on the island of Crete, to 1100 BC with the Dorians, who from then came Agamemnon. They spread throughout Peloponnesos, the southern part of Greece, and Asia Minor. From this period, we have the great documents in literature from Homer, the Odyssey, and the Iliad. Like their forebears at that time, the Greek land was not able to support them. They spread out and spread out throughout the Mediterranean. City-states arose, as Mayor Irving mentioned, in Athens. Solon, the lawgiver, was present. Pericles, the statesman. Sophocles and Euripides, the playwrights. And Socrates, Plato, and of course Aristotle, the famous philosophers. These Hellenists, they did their best to, even though they lived separately in city-states, when the common foe presented itself, whether it be Persians in the BC days or much later, they united in the common fight for culture and tradition. At the beginning of the Christian era, the Greek language was the language of that part of the world. And Christianity spread via the Roman roads, via the early martyrs of the church, and via the leadership that and the examples that they showed to us. In 330 AD, Constantine the Great, the emperor at that time, saw that sign in the sky in Teutonica, "In this we shall conquer," and with that victory over the barbarians from the north, made Christianity the official religion of that time. Unfortunately, for over 400 years, as was mentioned there, the Greek nation was subjugated to many atrocities, to the forced slavery, of which unfortunately many people in our society have gone through it in other parts of the world. Today we celebrate this great day of March 21st, and much later here in Aurora, a welcoming community, a community that's welcomed Hellenists, Greeks, from even before World War II, but in the 50s and 60s is when more and more Greeks were leaving economic oppression from a civil war and World War II, and came and made their roots here in Aurora. A community that offered opportunity, a community that offered work, and these people of simple means whether it be small businessmen or factory workers, did their best to raise their families. Within short order, established a church in 1965, right up the street here on East Galena Boulevard, was where our regional St. Athanasios was, and many other things. We thank Aurora. We thank the heroes that are amongst us today, many of them sitting here, Mr. and Mrs. Panagiotis, my parents. Others go by the name of Candelepas, Varduniotis, Velianis, Mesiacos, Alexandrou, Prokopos, Gergakopoulos, Xinos, Diantis, Gontos, Papasideris, Cholis, Manikas, Dimos, Fotopoulos, Korpas, Mitru, and the list goes on and on. For many of us, the kids born here, myself, my siblings, Alderman Mesiacos, Mr. Alexandrou, these are people that we grew up with. These are the elders that we took the example from. And we thank you for honoring, sure, me, but this is more so for my parents, for their generation, and what you've allowed us to do and flourish in this great country and, of course, in this great city. We thank you very much. Zito y Alava, Zito y Aurora, Zito to Mayor Irving, and God bless America. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for Bill Deligiano. We acknowledge so many of the elders, so many who are here. If you are an elder in Aurora's Greek community, if you can please stand. Let's give them a round of applause. The elders who paved the way, if you can please stand, and Deligianos and the rest. Thank you so much. And our final award recipient comes from the lineage that Bill spoke of. She's an internationally recognized humanitarian. She's taken her hard expertise, field experiences in East Africa, the Balkans, Southeast Asia, and Greece, and has a proven track record at the international level. A proud graduate of East Aurora High School. Currently, she serves as an advisor to the nonprofit organization Mission Tanzania that digs and develops new wells and repairs non-functioning wells, bringing safe, clean water to the people in the rural villages throughout Tanzania. Based in Samos, Greece, from the summer of 2015 through 2019, she worked with local authorities to assist millions of refugees and migrants legally crossing from Turkey, arriving into Greece's international waters by makeshift boats. From January 26 to December 2006, she served as a consulate to Hellenicare that represents a constituency of more than 7 million Hellenes worldwide. It provides critical outreach via 6 medical centers, 6 mobile units, and 30 nurses stations throughout Georgia, Armenia, Ukraine, and Albania. In recognition of her efforts, the City of Aurora named her the 2009 Hometown Hero Award. She was the recipient of Wabanzi Community College's 2007 Fabulous 40 Alumni Award. She received the Office of Illinois State Treasurer Judy Bartopinka, the Outstanding Greek American in Illinois Award, and the National Ladies of the Philopticus Society of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America selected her as the national recipient of the 2004 Women Making a Difference Award.
So this next OPA Award of Excellence, presented on the 203rd anniversary of the Greek Revolution and Greek Independence Day, goes to an inspiring and influential presence in the Aurora community, helping to create an environment for success while continuing to build upon the long-standing tradition of innovation and achievement. This award goes to Penny Deligianis.
It was a poignant surprise when this Wednesday, the senior advisor to the mayor, Clayton Muhammad, informed me that the city of Aurora is bestowing upon me the exciting 2024 OPA Award. Mayor Irvin, I really thank you and your generous team from my heart for this vote of confidence. Growing up on the east side of Aurora, I have benefited from my excellent teachers at St. Paul Lutheran School, C.M. Bardwell, Katie Waldo, and of course Aurora East High School, which provided this daughter of Greek immigrant parents with a wonderful education, as well as to my beloved home parish of St. Athanasios Greek Orthodox Church, which has provided me with fulfilling lifelong nourishment and priceless relationships which I value and cherish. My breathtaking journey further led me to Wabansi Community College and then to the University of Illinois, and then everything went and took off. I went to the bush in Uganda to build a church, throughout Kenya to teach, to Tanzania to build a school in the middle of the jungle, and after seeing such numbing poverty, I returned to the United States to establish a national fundraising program for the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese in which we could help build water wells and other development projects throughout Africa. As I look back now with greater understanding, I see that this was only preparation for the newly formed democratic state of the Republic of Albania, which is the poorest country in Europe and my home for 7 very challenging years, which became engulfed in a shocking anarchy and civil crises in 1997, killing more than 3,000 of its citizens after more than 1 million machine guns were let loose into the society. We then had to face an attempted coup d'etat in 1998, and unfortunately we did not have time to recover, as its borders were overrun in 1999 by more than 470,000 refugees from Kosovo, which in less than 5 weeks increased Albania's population by more than 20%. Through these severe tests and trials, the Orthodox Autocephalous Church in Albania and its humanitarian Diakonia Agapis, its its humanitarian arm of which I served as country director, we rallied to embrace with as many people as we could, with life-saving aid and practical love through 14 programs and 5 large-scale emergency programs, which assisted 50,000 Kosovo refugees in Albanian communities. We never asked their religion, and actually more important, we knew that they were Muslim, but we didn't care because everybody was in need of help. My journey then continued when Archbishop Nikitas in Southeast Asia asked me to assess 43 development projects throughout India, in Sumatra, Java, and Jakarta, Indonesia, and then to Thailand to legally establish a philanthropic arm of the church there. These incredible experiences with all sorts of faith-based populations made it clear to me that the only way forward for all of us is through peaceful resolution and reconciliation. And then in the summer of 2015, unexpectedly, while I was there on vacation on the island of Samos, the refugees started pouring in from the war in Syria, who then went to Turkey and then crossed illegally into Greece's ocean maritime borders by boats which were only tires tied together. More than 3,000 people have died trying to make the ocean crossing. Several circles in these hotspots around the world have added religious tones, dangerous religious tones, threatening the stability of each of these countries and their delicate balance of power. But we protested with one strong voice on the front lines, and it made a difference. As Nobel Peace Prize nominee, Archbishop Athanasios of Albania said, "No one has the right to use the holy oil of religion to intensify the flame of armed conflicts. Religion is a divine gift to soothe our hearts, to heal our wounds, and to bring individuals and people together in peace. And it's only with peaceful coexistence of the religious communities that genuine social progress can take place in any of our societies, poor or rich." Finally, to my loving brothers, Spiro and Vasily. Vasily, I'm so proud of you for not forgetting our East Aurora people. And to my loving parents, Dimitri and Dina, who are my heroes. Mabait Mom, your lifelong sacrifices for our family and towards the establishment and growth of our church has given me the faith and courage to move forward. We thank you for such a beautiful day, honoring our community. Thank you.
Another round of applause for our OPA Award recipients, Bill Deligianis, Nico Andriopoulos, Betty Andriopoulos. And as we honor today, and the meaning of today, 203 years ago, but just the legacy of the Greek community throughout the world here in Aurora. Today we will raise the Greek flag. Outside, we'll raise it, but because we're inside, we'll all raise it collectively. And so we will first play the first Greek national anthem, and then we will play the second time as we have a staff member go out and raise the flag. But before we do that, we have a special tribute. Our Deputy Poet Laureate to Aurora's Greek community. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Quentin Johnson.
Greek Independence Day, celebrating our Hellenic heritage. On March 25, our hearts come alive. We celebrate our Hellenic friends. As blue and white rise in Aurora's skies, we know liberty never ends. Freedom or death from every Greek breath in Athens, Thessaloniki, and Patras. Let your flag catch the sun's rays, with every voice now raised. Opa, Zito y Alas.
Always capture the spirit of Aurora. Thank you to our Deputy Poet Laureate, Quentin Johnson. Are you ready to raise a flag, Aurora? We celebrate Greek independence. We're going to ask all of our OPA recipients to join us on stage with a handheld flag. Andriopoulos, Deligianis, come on down, and for the rest of our community, please stand as we literally raise the flag collectively, and then we will raise the flag. So again, if our recipients can join us on stage. Everybody can have a flag, and make sure Penny has a flag. Aurora, as we celebrate the 23rd anniversary of the Greek Revolution here in the city of Aurora, honoring this community, we now play the Greek national anthem in honor.